Carroll Thompson, and I'm currently working on a lot of material, but my main thing that I'm working on at the moment is my anniversary album of Hopelessly in Love, which is out on Trojan and BMG. So I'm very excited to be talking and to be promoting the reissue of Hopelessly in Love after 40 years. So this new reissue of Hopelessly in Love is completely different to the original. It's been remastered. We've also got new vinyl on beautiful colours. I think it might even be blue, my favourite colour. And I've also got bonus tracks that you haven't heard for a long time, all put together onto one package. So it's very exciting. It's completely different, fresh, and just repackaged and designed, especially for all my Lovers Rock fans. So on this new reissue of Hopelessly in Love, I decided to go back and think about all the things that were happening at the time when I created this album as a teenager. And so I've written like some little memoirs and some notes to go with a lot of the songs, just to kind of give you an idea of what things were like at the time when I wrote and produced this album with wonderful musicians and producers. So yeah, it's completely different. It's got liner notes, it's got a lot of info, background info that some of you might not even realised or knew about. So it's very interesting. My experience of being a young female artist in the 80s was and it's well documented. It wasn't easy. It was a very male-dominated domain, and as a female with ideas and passion, sometimes there were many clashes. Sometimes it was very difficult, but I was very fortunate that I had a really good co-producer in Bertie who was open to my ideas, and I had so many great musicians around me like Alan Weeks, Cleveland Watkins, had Jackie Matu. I had people like Sugar Minot who were really keen for me to just do whatever it is I wanted to do musically, and were happy to share and explore ideas together. So there's some bonus tracks on this album as well, just to make it special. And I've got a duet that I did many years ago with Sugar Minot, Make It With You. And I'm so pleased that it's been remastered and repackaged for this album, for the anniversary album. So I met Sugar Minot years, when he was over here promoting, doing Good Thing Going. Now Sugar loved the UK Lovers Rock sound, and he was so keen to come over here and work with a lot of the musicians, and ended up working with a lot of my musicians. He was a good friend with Bertie, who was my co-producer at the time. And so we all just got on so well, and I was such a fan anyway. And he just loved everything that was happening in the UK scene. So that's when he did Good Thing Going, and he wrote so many other beautiful songs at the time. So we were always in Easy Street Studios together. So we always said, okay, at some point we must do a duet. And it just so happened that we were in Jamaica at the same time. And we went to the studio, went to Channel 1, and which I always wanted to record at Channel 1 Studios. So we went there, and he rounded together all his young musicians that he was promoting and looking after at the time, and inspiring too. And he picked his best musicians, and we went into Channel 1 and we recorded the duet, and it was so much fun. It was wonderful. There's also a covered song that I did called Your Love, which was a Law's track, and it's such a beautiful song, and so I'm glad that I was able to put that together with a package. And another song called You Are the One, and it's another song that I wrote many years ago that was a random single, but now I've drawn all these random singles together and put them onto the anniversary album just for you. Well, Hopelessly in Love, the album, it was a period in my life that was so exciting. If you can imagine a bunch of young teenagers given the freedom of a studio to just create stuff. There was no sort of control over what we were doing. They gave us complete artistic freedom to create the music that we wanted, and it was such fun. So I was fortunate with Bertie, my co-producer, that we were at Easy Street. We met Chips Richards from Carroll Gems, who put up the finance for us to go in the studio and create an album. And we were just having fun, making songs. We didn't really know which song would be a hit from which song wouldn't be a hit. All we knew is that we were very fortunate to be in this position where we could be creating music that made us feel good. Some of the songs that I wrote are definitely from personal experience, and some are from just hanging around with my friends and us all going through a lot of the similar types of teenage and young adult angst of being in love and trying to work out, you know, who's worth spending time with and who's not, and getting your heart broken and chasing the wrong person and the wrong person chasing you and all kinds of stuff. So it was some of it was personal, some of it was just being around my friends who were all the same age, going through our sort of rites of passage as young people. I was very keen to be involved in everything. I probably spent half of my life in the studio. All my life, went there early in the afternoon and didn't come out until daybreak. So it was good to be sort of hands-on in every department, from coming up with the concepts to writing the melodies, writing the lyrics, through to watching the musicians, being involved in the production, deciding what overdubs, deciding which type of harmonies, because I had such a great team. We had wonderful musicians, and it was just an incredible experience to be able to be writing, singing and producing this album. So it was very much my baby. I was so happy at how well received the album was by the press, and that they were very complimentary on my songwriting skills, and the fact that I'd actually got an album together, because you know many people might not know, back in the day most female singers mostly just had singles, and not many had the opportunity to have an entire album. So I think that's what made it quite different, and I think that's why it was so well received, because it was refreshing for female artists in this country, as lovers rock singers, artists, to actually have a complete body of work. The songs that entered the reggae chart, the first song was I'm So Sorry, which I initially recorded with Leonard Chin from Santic Records. And Leonard was a young aspiring producer from Jamaica who loved the UK sound and loved the fusion of reggae and strings and arrangements, and he liked female voices. So when we met, it was a really good synergy. And so the first song, the first original, we did a cover first, and he said, do you have any originals? And my first original song I did with him was I'm So Sorry. And that came together really quickly, because I already had the melody and the words, and he put the music behind it. And people just reacted so positively. We recorded I'm So Sorry and Simply in Love, and we decided to try and do something different with it. Some people prefer the single, some people like the album version, but that people seem to really love the song. So we used I think a drummer from Black Slate, Desmond Mahoney, and we used Courtney Carr, who was a bass player from Jamaica that was now living in the UK. And we had Soul Radix, who was a guitarist from the Roots Radix band, who was touring with Gregory Isaacs, I believe, at the time. So he brought him in just to give it some different flavour for the album, so that you had two distinct versions, basically. So I guess it's what they would call now a remix. But back in the day, that wasn't a thing, right? So we did that with I'm So Sorry, and also with Simply in Love, a brand new version for the album. Somehow I was exposed to a wider market as well, where Billy Ocean got in touch and said how much he liked my style, and was just having these big hits, Get Out of My Dreams and all of this stuff, and Going Gets Tough, and invited me to come on tour, his first sort of major world tour. And that was brilliant. That opened my eyes to the other side of the music industry. You know, when you're selling millions of records, you know, how it works, and playing in stadiums and all that kind of stuff. So that was really very exciting and very educational for me as a young musician. And from there, I worked with other musicians as well. And I did a lot of TV work. I worked on Spitting Image. I was the voice of Diana Ross, Dionne Warwick, and some others. So that was good fun. And I sung some adverts and all these different areas of the music industry that I was never aware of. And I was getting these calls to come in and sing on albums and sing on TV programs and to do tours with major artists. So I think Hopelessly in Love is so dear to me because it was really the catalyst for my career as a musician, and opened many doors, and I just went for it. You know, when the challenges presented themselves, I just rose to all of those challenges, and I didn't turn anything down. I just tried to improve myself as a musician. So yeah, it was I think, and I'm blessed with Hopeless in Love. It's opened many doors for me, and I give thanks for that.
Hi, my name's Heather Small, and I'd like to say congratulations to the Queen, one of the Queens of Lovers Rock, Miss Carroll Thompson, for 40 years of Hopelessly in Love. We have been hopelessly in love with you for more than 40 years. What does Lovers Rock mean to me? Black British excellence. Showed me that there was a way to be a singer in this country and still remain true to your identity and your experiences. I salute you, Miss Thompson.
So Lovers Rock as a genre and as a musical form, to me, is so special. I think it just encapsulates everything that I experienced as a young girl growing up in this country, first generation. It sort of is a great hybrid of all the types of music that I was exposed to, from reggae through to ska, rocksteady, through to pop, through to the Philly sound, through to Motown. And the very first Lovers Rock single that grabbed me was Caught You in a Lie by Louisa Marks. And when I heard that song, I just instantly knew that it was British. It wasn't Jamaican import. It wasn't an American thing. It was British. I recognized Louisa Marks's voice. I just felt the music, and I instantly knew that this was a homegrown sound, and it resonated with me instantly, and still does. And I just love the simplicity and the honesty of Lovers Rock, and the layered textures, musical textures, that makes it indicatively British. It's a British sound, it's a British phenomenon.
For me, Carroll Thompson is the queen of British reggae, no question. Hopelessly in Love is a tune, and it still sounds fresh now. It's just got that feel. And I always think of Carroll as the kind of perfect, quintessential Lovers Rock, British reggae diva, all the way. And I can't believe it's 40 years. I mean, each summer you get a burst of reggae, but reggae's always going on in the background. It's always there working, living its life. Reggae is its own entity.
I'm often asked what made me get into music, and to be honest, music found me. Music was a constant friend to me as a young child, as someone just learning to walk. I was always singing. My house that I grew up with my grandmother was filled with music, because my grandmother was a musician. She was a singer. She was called the Belle of Trelawney when she lived in Jamaica, and so she loved music. So she encouraged music from a very early age. So I've always felt that music just found me, and it's been a constant friend forever, since ever I can remember. The Hopelessly in Love album is out now and on vinyl for all you vinyl buffs, and for all you digital guys, it's there as well. On all the platforms you can find it. And I will be also touring the album and singing every song from the Hopelessly in Love album. I have never done that before. So for me, it's going to be such an adventure. We can do it together, sing all those songs together, because I haven't revisited those songs for so long. So I look forward to seeing you at one of the shows, and I look forward to you buying the album and enjoying it. Thank you.